And yeah, please leave your cameras on. This is an interactive session. We would love to see your smiley faces. But please do ask your questions. Put them in the chat or raise your hand. Your questions will be monitored. And have fun. And also, when you are not speaking, please, but I already see your microphones are off, put yourself on mute. And let's have a look at our energizing video. Sit back and relax. It's about 2 minutes, so we will be back in 2 minutes.
Welcome back to the second annual Cordance Worldwide Festival, your opportunity to connect with your colleagues from across the globe and hear how we're helping our clients be ready to rise to new challenges to stay one step ahead. Cordance Worldwide is a global network of truly connected consultancy firms with the ability to think and deliver together. The power of Cordance helps our clients get ahead of what's next. The world has changed in significant ways in a short span of time. With hybrid ways of working, we may sit further apart, but we've never been closer to our clients. Digital transformation has fast-tracked, while supply chains still struggle to keep up. This has led to unprecedented advancements, with cities getting smarter, revolutions in virtual sales, end-to-end digital overhauls, all underpinned by data, while the pressures of climate change, sustainability, and a reassessment of the way goods are sourced globally begins to take a front seat. And with our commitment to our service-centered projects happening around the world, corporate social responsibility is more than just a buzzword. Thanks for joining as we share insights on how we are engaging alongside our clients with some of the greatest challenges of our time to lead us into the future. Get inspired, get connected, and get ahead of what's next.
Great. So are we energized? Yes, I see some clapping hands. So that was received well. Yeah, this is the kickoff session of the second Cordance Worldwide Festival. My name is Jacqueline Heren. I'm joining you today from the Netherlands. With me are also some people from the Netherlands. Say hi.
Hello.
Hey. Yeah, we kick off with the one of the two sessions during this festival facilitated by the Young Professional Network. I'm really looking forward to this session. So we kick it off, and the Young Professionals also are this festival with a pub quiz. If you haven't registered, please do so. Now I'm quickly gonna hand it over to Frederik from State of Matter, who's gonna lead us through this session. Frederik.
Yes, I hope everyone can hear me well. Hi, everyone. Good morning, good afternoon, good evening, maybe. So I'm Frederik from State of Matter. So before we kick off with the actual discussion and the panel discussion, I want to do a few things. So first, Jacqueline, thanks for kicking off the session and having the energizing video, the Cordance video. I also want to introduce the team that is, I would say, behind the scene of the organization of this session. So you see the team members here on the screen. So we have Marie-Astrid Debissé from Oresis, who unfortunately couldn't make the session, but she was in the team organizing so the panel discussion. Sophie de Jong, who is on the train, I think. So not sure she can actually talk, but Sophie is from TG. And we also have Lasse, and I will just let you take the mic, Lasse, just to introduce yourself.
Yes, hello and good morning from my side as well. Lasse Praus is my name, and I'm consultant at Harvard, and looking forward to this very interesting discussion today.
So yes, and so myself, as I said, Frederik Leviscon from State of Matter. So Lasse and I will be moderating the session today, so I'll be doing a bit of talking, so you will hear my voice, and Lasse will take over at the end of the session and will be moderating as well the chat. One additional thing that I want to do before we kick off is introducing our panelists. So you're right on the slide, yeah, Lasse. So our panelists, so we have 6 panelists today. a bit from different horizons, from different companies. So that's really great. What I will do is I will just start, if everyone can introduce themselves like in a quick snapshot, name and where you are from, starting from the top left corner. Jesse.
Yeah, good morning, everyone from the Netherlands. I'm Jesse Bogaerts and I work at Zwijnstra Gudde.
Well, Alexis next. Or maybe it's not on. That's fine. Tobias then next.
Yes, hello everybody. Tobias Latzko, my name. I'm a managing consultant in my 4th year now at Harvard, and I'm located in the business unit procurement.
Great. Akila?
Hi everyone, my name is Akila Nagaraja. I work for State of Matter, but I'm currently working in Paris with RSS.
Veena?
Hi everyone,
Okay.
this is Veena Priyalakshmi. I'm a senior consultant from Avalon Consulting. I'm currently located in India.
Great. And last one, Eva.
Hi, my name is Eva. I'm part of the Frankfurt team of Harvard, and I'm working in corporate transformation.
Great. Thanks everyone for joining. So the session, thanks to our panelists who accept and agree to be on the forefront of the session and driving or leading the discussion on this topic, the topic that you will discover soon. Well, actually, yeah, the topic is so young, how to retain young professional talent. But before that, we wanted to do another quick energizing session, and now that you know who are the panelists, we also want to know who is our audience coming from. And so if you have normally a little emoji icon on the right hand top hand right corner of your screen, so yes, exactly. So just send us a heart if you are coming from TG, send us a surprise emoji if you're from Harvard, a laughing emoji, oh God, so many emojis. Thumbs up from North Highland, laughing from Oasis, and clap if you're from anywhere else. Yay. So a lot of astonished or surprised emojis. So great, a lot of people from Harvard, a lot of hearts. Nice. Good to see so many of you in the session. I know that for some of you it's a bit early. So let's crack on now with our topic and our panel discussion. So our discussion topic today is retaining young talent. And as Jacqueline said, it's one of the burning topic at the moment. And so just a bit of a background around the topic. So talents and humans are really the company's greatest asset. And so there is a war for talent in the war for talent is one of the big challenges so that we are currently facing. It's not a new topic. Studies have shown for a few years that there will be a shortage of skills when the baby boomers will leave the workforce. But it's something that has been really increased by the global pandemic that we went through in 2020, and that maybe some countries are still affected by. So according to Forbes, there is in the third quarter of 2020, nearly 30 million baby boomers left the job market and retired. And about a year later, the exodus accelerated. And though there is a recent survey from Coventry that showed that over 75% of respondents said that they are planning to retire early. So as said, it's not a new topic, but due to the global pandemic, it has been increased. And the global pandemic has made attracting and retaining talent really one of the greatest focus that we have ever known before, and has added a layer of complexity to it in terms of the employees experience new ways of working and new opportunities, and hence why this layer of complexity, knowing that there are more expectation and different expectations than before. So how do companies keep employees from jumping from one trip to another? How do companies make sure that they have the right structure in place to retain the young employees and employees all over, actually? This is a type of question that we want to uncover in this session. So with our young panelists, but also with you, the audience. So please do interact in the chat and we'll go through your questions or your insights or your ideas. And our last question as well is really for you. So we'll be using Mentimeter to actually gather your feedback, your thought and ideas. So our first question is a broad question, a really generic one. in your opinion, what should companies do to retain young talents? And I will direct this question to Veena, if Veena, you don't mind answering as the first one.
Hi, Frederick. Yeah, thank you so much for directing that question to me. So I would like to give a little structured answer to this. In my opinion, right, what companies should do to retain young talents is to follow the clean approach. So the clean approach is nothing but C stands for clarity, L stands for learning, E stands for exposure, and A and N stands for acknowledgement. So, young talents these days, let's talk about C, right? Clarity. So, young talents these days, they want to understand. So, when I'm joining a firm, right, as a young consultant, what is my career path? In the next 1 or 2 years, what should I do? What are the things that I should meet? What are the KPIs that I should meet? And if I do so, where will I be? And if I don't do, what are the things which I have to improve? And what else I should do to get to that point? I think that is the first important step that the companies should try to do, is to provide clarity on what will be the career path in their organization. Next letter in the clean approach is L, which is learning, right? So there are two approaches to this as well. One is learning on the job. So we as consultants, when young talents enter into the organization, we would like to try our hands on different kinds of projects, right? So I would like to do, like, say, a market assessment or a due diligence, or let's say a change management, etc. So through exposure to different kinds of projects, my learning will be enhanced, and I can pick and choose whichever domain which I'm interested in. Learning apart from work, the upskilling opportunities that the companies give, uh, that is also very important, because it's a win-win. One thing, the consultant or the young talent also gains the knowledge. Secondly, when the consultant talks to the client, right, he's more knowledgeable. So it adds more value to the company as well. Next is exposure. So exposure ties together all of this. One is to different kinds of projects and different kinds of learning opportunities, and acknowledgement. So acknowledgement in these days is very important, right? So in this new digital age where we just put up a post on Instagram or LinkedIn and we get so many likes and comments on our posts, it is very important for companies to acknowledge the young talents for any initiatives or the good work they have done. So it is very important to note that it is not for validation, but it is for encouragement. So firms should have a strong R&R policy in order to, ensure that acknowledgements are there. Acknowledgements were given to the young talents at the right time. So I think, in my opinion, this is what we can do to retain young talents.
Great. Thanks, Veena, for this really detailed answer. Anyone from the panelists who wants to bounce back on what Veena just said? Akila, do you want to add something?
Sure, I can. I really like the use of the acronym CLEAN. I guess I wonder what sort of outside that on the job, clarity and exposure and experience and learning, what are the other bits that companies need to provide to retain young talents and attract them in the first place? So things like remuneration and benefits, what sort of working culture do we want to bring in for young consultants? And I guess, like the energizing video showed us, everything has changed in the last 2 years. So do we want to provide that flexibility to actually attract younger consultants who want to work from home, who want to have the option of working from client site, from the office, from their, wherever they may be? I guess that's an important factor as well, all of the surrounding bits, and just the cultural aspects of the firm. So what else does the firm do in terms of bringing its people together, especially if we're all working remotely? Do we have touch points where we're all connected again? Do we have other, possibilities around working together on volunteer community day type things?
Yeah, and Akila, you're just talking about culture, and you talked about benefit and remuneration before. And do you think, as a young professional, what will attract, like, if you were doing a survey, or like maybe give your opinion and like the other people can bounce back, but will you be more attracted by a culture that fits your values and what you believe, or something, or would you be looking for a company that has a better benefits and remuneration package?
I think increasingly we're finding the former. So people are looking forward to being a part of a place that they support, that shares the same values. We're seeing that in the shift of people focusing on companies that offer things, you know, like corporate social responsibility and have a sustainability angle, that have the social aspect that's quite integral to the company. So bringing people together. And I think in speaking to other members of the Accordance network, that's definitely the track that people are sort of leaning towards, rather than the traditional, you know, what's my salary, what's my bonus, what else do I get in the package?
Right. Thanks for the insight. Jesse, I can see you're nodding. Do you want to add anything to that?
Not really, because I can really relate to what is said already. And what I was thinking about company culture, for me, it's all about really an open culture. So what is said, so open communication. Instead of leading, it's more about partnering together in companies. So that's what I was thinking of to add.
Great. Well,
Really-
Corden is a good example of that then. Sorry, yeah, go ahead.
Yeah.
Yeah, and I really like the partnering aspect you are mentioning. I think for young talents, at least it was when I joined the company, I want to be respected. Like, I don't want to have the feeling that I'm like on the lower end of the chain and I have to do the heavy lifting. So I think it's a lot of about respect and get really early in the working life responsibility, and to give young talents the feeling, okay, they really can add value to the company and to the projects. And I think flat hierarchies and a really direct exchange between all the persons working for a company is really important with regard to that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Great. So, yeah, partnership and making sure that there is respect amongst everyone around the peers, but also in the hierarchy would be like, yeah, an important thing, as you say. Any other comments from the panelists on that topic, in your opinion? So what should companies do to retain young talents, or really broadly speaking? Or that the audience have some ideas as well, some insights? You can share it in the chat. You can see that there is one comment actually in the chat. Aravind, do you want to actually come in and talk us through the little essay that you wrote in the chat?
Sure.
I don't want to just read. It's better if you just talk through it.
I hope you guys are able to hear me now.
Oh, good, yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, so thanks for all the relatable points, panelists. On talent retention, I see it in two legs, one being table stakes and the second being what are the differentiators that the company does. On table stakes, some other people also raised these points on remuneration, the role being on par, being challenged enough on your projects with good learning. These all I see it under table stakes. While under differentiators, a culture that's more aligned to what the younger folks in the organization believe in, and also like Akila had earlier mentioned about say CSR activities or certain aspects that the company is working on, which can be aligned to the company's values as well. That helps employees to sort of believe that their values are aligned with the companies, and also you're doing something at a larger purpose. Like you get a more broader purpose in your work apart from your just day-to-day job.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, thanks for this insight. I can see that Gabriela is also in line with what you just said and what other panelists just said. So thanks for all these comments. I think we'll move on to the next question. So we went from a broader question and we want to have a bit more detail now about what does your company offer to retain young talents. So we have a diverse range of panelists from different companies. So Tobias, do you want to start to give us a little bit of insight what Harvard does?
Yeah, sure, I can do so. So when thinking about retention, I think retention at Harvard, the process of retention starts at a really early stage. So when I think about, for example, interns directly get a lot of responsibilities, and also high performance candidates are offered a permanent contract very often. So for example, in the procurement team where I'm working, I think we have more than 30% of former interns working now permanently in the team, including myself, by the way. So I think this is a really good opportunity to directly keep young talents in the company. Besides that, there's also a Harvard Students Club allowing high performance interns to stay in touch. For example, when they're still like in their studies, they can stay via the club in touch with the company, but also the other way around. So I think this is also a really good recruiting channel. So you see already on intern level, I think Harvard is doing a good job there, but this obviously continues when you look on consultant level. So when you start as a consultant, as a young talent at Harvard, you directly have 1 week of an onboarding session when new colleagues can directly start networking with their peers, which really strengthens the bond, in my opinion, directly in the beginning with the company. And also when it comes to education, I think Harvard is doing their really good job, because, for example, when you start with a bachelor degree at Harvard, Harvard offers you to do your master's degree at selected university, including also a further payment of a base salary. So I think this is a really fair offer, and this also exists for when you want to do an MBA, for example, or a dissertation. So I think this is also, with regard to the educational point, a really good aspect Harvard is offering. Personally, what I really like about Harvard and the way of retaining talents is the so-called individual learning path, where you really develop individually for each employee a certain path. This includes, for example, a training curriculum, but also like specific measures to develop personal strength, but also weaknesses. And I really like that, to really continuously work on that together with your mentor. We have kind of a mentor-mentee setup, where you always have one person you can talk to in case you have any questions, or you talk to with regard to your personal education and development. I would say training in general is a quite important aspect. So we at Harvard established a so-called business school. This is kind of a virtual training session in which other colleagues teach practical skills and knowledge within their home turf to others. So this allows me, for example, to gain further knowledge in areas which I normally do not work that much. Just an example, I think one of the last session was about production optimization, and this is a really good channel to really gain new knowledge. After participating in these business schools, we also have a so-called masterclass. This is then really a 3-day on-site event where all participants meet. And what I really like about that is the direct exchange you have then there again, and really study networking with your peers. Because, like I said in the beginning, directly in the onboarding week, these exchange sessions are, in my opinion, a really important factor to increase or strengthen the bond between employee, a young talent, and the company. Physical meetings in general, like what I've just mentioned before, are, in my opinion, a really important factor at Harvard, which is quite important, because this fosters really this retention I've mentioned. And besides regular PU meetings, we have office get-togethers, summer parties, Christmas parties. And I think for everyone at Harvard, the big highlight every year is the so-called camp. What is a camp? So there we do kind of a 3-day trip with all the employees. The whole organization is doing a joint trip. And for example, the next one will take place in Croatia. So really, really nice event where everyone comes together and is having fun. So considering that, in my opinion, all these aspects, so starting from the intense inclusion and sponsoring of interns, followed by the educational as well as physical exchange opportunities for new colleagues, this just outlines that, in my opinion, Harvard is doing a really excellent job with regard to retaining young talents.
That's great. You gave us a lot of ideas. Like if the other companies are not doing some kind of stuff, it's a lot of ideas for them to actually like set up. But from the other panelists as well. So thanks for all that insight, Tobias. That was really, really good. From the other panelists, like, do you do like something similar, or what is your company doing to retain young talents? Or is this?
Yeah.
Oh, Vina, yeah. Go ahead.
No, you can. Sure. So I could really resonate with a lot of points which Tobias mentioned, like especially the individual career path and the buddy mentor session, etc. One thing which was interesting is the educational aspect, where I feel a lot of importance is given, and I think that's a very, very good learning for all of us. So at Avalon is a lean firm with a total headcount of say 55 plus consultants. So one thing which we do or do with a lot of what to say importance is a very personal training or personal attention to young consultants who are coming in, right? So we directly interact with the partners and they see how we start as a consultant and how we grow in the firm. And so this personal attention is one thing which we are very proud about at Avalon. It's the one point I wanted to add.
Good. So yeah, it looks like education training, that's a kind of a big topic. Akila, I would be interested to have also your insight, like having seen like 2 different firms. Are there something? So Tobias was talking about like the onboarding and the Harvard camp. Is there something similar at Oasis that you have seen where you had like there was an onboarding week or something like that? Or?
Yeah, I think Fix sort of mentioned a lot of it in the chat. So creating those bonds between all the consultants through all of the events that Oasis holds. I can say personally the onboarding was fantastic. So as soon as I arrived, I had all these meetings in my diaries to meet people from across the organization. So that was really great. I think an ongoing theme that I'm hearing, and I can share with State of Matter as well, is that personal attention to career path and growth. So I think State of Matter offers, you have your own advocate, you meet once a month to see how things are progressing, if you want any changes. It's a really flexible working environment as well. Another thing is that everyone sort of gets involved in how the organization is sort of run, in a sense, because we have this thing called the Agile operating model, which is targeted at internal operations and practice building and knowledge sharing. So once a month, there's a State of Matter day where everyone sort of corrals together and works on internal opportunities. I know that there's similar things in Oasis with the core days, and that they meet quite regularly to build on, knowledge sharing across the company and getting people involved in the organization.
Great. So yeah, education, training, knowledge sharing, making sure that you have like a mentor-mentee relation or advocate, as we have at State of Matter. Some topics that I can hear coming often in the different answers from the panelists. François Xavier, I can see that you have put also some comment in the chat regarding creating bonds between all the consultants. So I can see you have a ski trip onboarding. So this is all like to create like kind of a community, I guess, when you are onboarded as a consultant, so in one of the accordance firms. So great. Anything else to add from the audience or from the panelists?
Yeah. Morning. Can everybody hear me?
Yes.
Hi. I'm quite small in the picture, I guess. I'm Ruud from TG. Good morning, everyone. One thing to add, because I hear a lot of creating knowledge, creating bonds, creating opportunities. What I think is really important as well, this is on the other side of the spectrum, is to create a culture that allows mistakes, so that you can try new things as an upcoming consultant, young talent, really grab that responsibility, and things will go wrong. They will eventually go wrong. Something will go haywire at some point. And I think it's really important that a company gives the room to make errors and to correct those errors, and that it's fine to do so. I think that is a really important aspect to this, because one, giving the opportunity to grab responsibility is the first step, but then actually taking it and learning from that experience by making mistakes or correcting mistakes is a really important step as well. And I think the higher ups, media, senior managing partners, etc., should allow for a bit of leeway to experiment and find your own way in doing stuff. I think that's a really important cultural aspect within companies that adds to the retention of young talents.
Yeah, that's right. And do you feel that it's something that is currently existing, or have you set up something at TG that is actually like created this space that allowed for mistakes?
Well, I think I speak from my part of TG. We have several within, how do you call it, divisions, so to speak. But we usually work, we tend to work in duos on actual assignments for clients. And usually we go for a junior, media, junior, senior combination. So we get this buffering that people really get the space and the option to try out new things, get that additional responsibility in a bit of a more safe environment, because you're not all in it alone, but we are in it together, and so we can brainstorm on what is a good, correct path to take, or if we should try something different. And by creating that combined approach in assignments, makes it an option to try new things and to create such an atmosphere. So I think, yeah, that we are at TG, at least we are already have something in place to get that off the ground.
Mm-hmm. Great to hear. Anna Katarina, I can see you have your hand raised. Do you want to add anything?
Yes, thank you. I would like to bring up another point, which is working on diversity in order to make role models visible. I think this is a very important aspect. And what Harvard, for example, does in relation to gender diversity is that we have a female network, which is called Women at Harvard, where we have an additional mentor-menteeship called Buddy Program with role models from the same gender in this case. So yeah, I think it's really important to make role models visible in the company in order to see that what you can become within the company.
Yeah, that's true. That's actually a good point. And I don't know if you're aware, there is also the Cordons Women's Network, so that you might maybe also be part of. But yeah, that's a good point. Thanks for that, Anna Katarina. Great. Conscious of time, we might move on to the next question, our last question. So thanks for all this insight. So our last question is actually like towards the panelists, but also towards the audience. So please grab your phone and go on Mentimeter, so you can either scan the QR code or like type the code in on the website. And our question is actually, is there anything else that you would like to see from the Cordons Networks partners to retain young talent? So we could hear like there were a lot of ideas from the different companies that are in place currently, but is there something that you actually do not see and that you would like to see? So the floor is yours actually, but I will start still with the answer from the panelists. Jess, do you want to take this one?
Yes, of course. Thank you for the question. For me, it actually starts with conversations like these, so where young professionals are like us are invited to discuss together with organizations what our needs are. So I think discussions like these are valuable, and I would advise the CN network to facilitate these discussions more. And to dive a bit deeper into the content, for me, in essence, it's all about flexibility. So I would advise the CN or the network to examine how flexibility unfolds in young professional work lives. So questions that pop up into my head are what kind of courses would you like to follow as a young professional, and how can we as a network facilitate that? Or what kind of project would you like to lead as a young professionals, and how can we cooperate as a network more extensively on that? And besides formal flexibility, I would also like to dive deeper into informal flexibility, where organizations facilitate time for young professionals to pursue outside projects. So not only for fun, but also for emboldening employees to develop their own partnerships across organizations that can benefit their work.
And when you say outside projects, would be more like client related, or like, for example, volunteering or this kind of things? Or?
Yeah, so I would think about working on social work, but also, company outings. For example, if you would like to organize a ski trip with other partners or anything like that, just for connecting.
Great, thanks for the insight. Lasse, do we have some words in the chat on Mentimeter already that we can bounce back on?
We got some first insights on our Mentimeter survey. So I think there are quite good points we did not talk about so far. One is, for example, the exchange program. I guess this one is regarding our Coordinates network, that we should foster more regards exchange programs between the companies. Do you, or who is the person who put this topic up, and do you want to maybe give us like some more insights on this?
That would be me. Hi, Ruud again.
Hey, Ruud.
I think it's really interesting to see that we have a lot of similar ideas, and at the same time different approaches with the companies within Corden. And I think it would be a major benefit to make use of these connections that we have already, to provide young professionals the opportunity to go abroad for half a year, to visit another company, to see if we can do some learning in a different context, a different environment, a different culture. Just to, on one side, broaden our own horizons, and at the same time, provide them the opportunity to have the adventure to go abroad. I've studied in Singapore for half a year. Amazing opportunity that I had. I would like to do it again in my professional career as well. So yes, that's an open call for an invitation. Everybody has a spot, but I think it's a good additional option to provide younger talents the option to look abroad for a short span of time, with a rather safe contract situation, that you're certain that you still have a job, but you can try different things abroad as well. I think that might help and further our own position as consultant firms.
Yes, that's a very interesting point, I think. And when we look at the different answers on our questionnaire here, there are multiple answers like exchange program, exchange possibilities. I think that this is all going into the same direction. And also a very interesting topic, I think, is the YPN buddy program, so that we then more as a young talent group have a better exchange between the different companies. Who put this one into the questionnaire, and who would like to say some words about this? okay. Nobody is forced to talk about it. That's no problem. There are some other very interesting points, I guess. Obviously, fair payment is always a big point, a big topic, which is for sure important. I guess, and I hope that this is in most of our companies the topic, or it is like this. And what also the Accordance Network is focusing on, and I think we should also all focus more on, is to make more shared projects, which was put on here. And then, which is very interesting as well, as the secondments with partners. Does the person who put this topic into here want to give us a few statements about it? Okay, that's okay as well. If nobody else wants to talk about it, are there any other points and any other topics you would like to mention, or is there any of the panelists or also of the audience who has some open points, some topics?
I put in area-based groups because something that is a bit of a difficult thing to work around in the Accordance network is time zones. So often, we have American colleague, if we all want to fit in one session, we have American colleagues waking up really early, Australian colleagues staying up late. So I had the idea of, can we split in regions? So have area-based on time zone groups meeting more regularly for knowledge sharing sessions and events, and then the broader, YP network meeting on a quarterly basis or something. And that could drive, I guess, more interaction and more participation from different companies as well, just based on time zone restrictions. I don't know what others think about that. And then I guess, Yessa, you were talking about knowledge sharing sessions, looking outside of, or having the peripheral topics around work that aren't necessarily based on your job at your company. So things like how to negotiate your salary, I guess, is quite important as consultants, but having a session on how best to do that. I think a lot of us have done it plenty of times. We're all feeling quite nervous when we go into that meeting, thinking, have I structured my argument properly? Have I picked the right number? So some of those more practical sessions that might help drive your careers. Other things like financial management, I don't know, could be helpful. I guess something that's come up recently is, rising inflation rates. So how does that impact young consultants? Cost of living is going up. How do we better manage our finances or structure our salary negotiations to cater for that as well?
That's a very interesting topic, I guess, which we all, especially as young professionals, probably can very much relate to, and that's very good input. Thank you very much. Any further topics? Oh, yes, I see one hand up there. I think it's Veena.
Yeah, hi. So thanks, Akila, for that point. So apart from work, we need to develop lot more skills, and definitely this network can help us do that. So on the point which was mentioned earlier, where we can leverage this network to do projects outside, I think this is happening currently. So I remember a colleague from this has been working with the Ablon, I think in the last year, but it is not being communicated in very openly, right? So if there is a personal need for me to move to a different geography, the Accordance network can help me leverage, to get a project or a short-term employment in another geography. So that will make us truly global in order to work and live based on our situations. So that is one point which I like to add. And as Akila mentioned, since there is time zone difference, if we have a forum, let's say, for example, Teams is not available with a lot of network, Accordance network partners. If we have like an open discussion forum where I can post my questions, I can post my queries, and somebody who is a subject matter expert or who has knowledge about it can post their answers. So that will help us in collaborate better, and also make us feel as a truly global organization, which will again translate in retaining young professionals. That's what I wanted to add.
Great thing. So yeah, more transparency maybe on the different projects, as there is already, it is already existing, but maybe not transparent enough to everyone. So great. I think we are nearly out of time. So thanks for all the insights. It was really insightful, really interesting. I personally took a lot of notes, and I'm sure that everyone in the room will just pick up like some idea that they think they can probably implement in their company. And the YPN groups will also like just pick up everything and bring it back, like organize all the ideas and bring it back as well to another level, so that we can make sure that we are building on everything that has been said during this discussion. It has been a quick discussion, so there are a lot more to unpack, but unfortunately, yeah, we're running out of time. There will be the next session from the Accordance Festival starting, I think, at 5, if I remember well. So thanks a lot for your participation, everyone. And please give us your feedback by scanning the barcode. That would be really useful for the organization of the next sessions. Jacqueline, I'm giving the microphone back to you now.
Yes, thank you. Thank you, Frederic, and everyone else from the Young Professional Network who gave a really great session, first kickoff session, really energized. Yeah, as we started this session by saying, it is a hot topic, and by listening to you, it is an interesting topic. I listened together with my other Accordance colleagues, Steve and Anita, who are in this call as well. So I'm sure that we will talk about this session as well. You know where to find us. So if you want something from the Accordance team to be done and to organize another session on this, to elaborate a little bit more, please let us know. Yeah, thank you very much. Again, this was the first session of the second Accordance Worldwide Festival. So there's more to come. Yes, there is in 9 minutes time the second session for today that is on selling Get Smarter, and lots of other sessions. If you want to sign up, you can still do so. We hope to see you again, and yeah, thank you very much for joining us, and see you soon. Take care, everyone. Bye-bye.
Thank you.
Thank you very much. Bye-bye.
Bye.
Thank you.